You know, for so many women, getting pregnant can be really tricky and very frustrating. It's almost like the stars have to perfectly align to make it happen. But there are some things that can help you along this path and this journey. And Dr. Kate is joining us today, and she's going to give us some tips on how we can get through this process a little bit easier. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I was so glad to see you were coming this morning because my best friend, who I adore, just got married a year ago, decided to get married in her 40s. And of course, she wants to have a baby.
Yes. And
she's so frustrated. So I've been on this journey over the last 6 months with her, trying to figure out what to do. So you're going to give us some tips that I'm sure are going to help a lot of women out there that have been trying to have children but just can't.
Yes. So the nutrition status in the 4 to 6 months before you conceive is very important to optimize your fertility.
Okay.
And in fact, it can help decrease your risk of having a premature birth, so the babies are going to be healthy, they're going to be full term. Nutrition can even improve your chances of having a delivery without medical interventions.
How about specifics?
Specifics.
Yes.
So
nutrition is good. We all know that for everything.
Yes.
But especially if you're trying to get pregnant.
Right. So what you want to do is you want to eat, there's no one magical fertility food, but what you want to do is eat a diet that's organic, full of whole fresh foods, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. You of course want to avoid coffee and alcohol.
No caffeine,
right.
No alcohol.
You think that you can have a cup of coffee a day, but actually there's very good research that shows that even 1 cup of coffee can decrease your fertility.
Really? What about wine?
Because I know that's a great question.
That's kind of tricky with people. I had some people telling me you can have a little bit, 1 glass won't hurt. But
yes. So if you're struggling with infertility, then stay away from alcohol entirely. Okay. If you're just trying to get pregnant, but you're already really healthy and having no problems, then a half a glass of wine is fine.
Gosh, nobody told me.
Half a glass
I went
of
through
wine
4 of these and no one told me that.
So you never had a problem, right? Yeah.
No, never had a problem.
Okay. Well, now it sounds as if this is a good diet for anybody to have.
Exactly.
Why does it help to get pregnant?
That's a great question.
How does that work?
So as far as organic food goes, there's a lot of evidence that shows...
And organics? You said organic.
Organic.
Okay.
Okay, really quick though, I mean, organic foods can be a lot more expensive.
Yes.
So what about for women who can't afford to shop at some of those
That's a great
places?
question. Well, one thing is there's a list called the Dirty Dozen, and it lists the 12 foods that are most high in pesticides and herbicides. Okay. So those are the ones that you should buy organic if you're on a budget.
Like what?
For example, strawberries, berries, anything that doesn't have a peel is something that you want to buy organic.
Okay.
And then your meats and your dairy are really important.
Really important to buy organic. So that's where you put your budget.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, how do we know that this even works?
That is another great question. There are 2 large studies. One's called the Foresight study, and women who had struggled with infertility after following a good preconception program, 89% were pregnant within 2 years. And other women who had had repeat miscarriages, 83% of those were having a full-term baby in 3 years. And then there was another study of 20,000 women who ate processed foods and trans fats versus ones that ate this diet I'm talking about. And they had decreased ovulation, which meant decreased fertility. So simple things like eating your green leafy vegetables and fresh fruits and vegetables and staying away from processed fruits can...
And we hear all the time that sugar, salt, fat, and or processed flour and that kind of thing is not good for you. Does it work in this case too?
Pretty much, except for the fats. Fats are really good for fertility, especially women need to be at an ideal body weight. You don't want to be too thin and you don't want to be overweight. And so eating good fats, even like whole milk, avocados, coconut oil, can all optimize your fertility.
Oh, okay.
And tell us, what do we, from a perspective of just supporting a woman who's going through this?
Yes.
Because they really go through a lot of ups and downs. And I know I did my first, trying to get pregnant the first time.
It's emotional.
It's very emotional. What can we say to encourage someone who's struggling?
That's a great question. So I would just say, be there to talk to them and say, you know what, let's exercise together. I'll join you when you're, trying to eat healthier. When we go out, let's not get a drink. Let's go have green tea again. And just those little things can really support your girlfriends, and then just encourage them that there's a lot of support out there, and they'll probably have a healthy baby in the end.
Well, how about during the pregnancy when you want to barf all the time. Okay, so.
Well, look, we're going to have her back on and we're going to talk about that because that is a major issue. I went through that through every single pregnancy.
Keep the diet going then, right?
Exactly.
And you don't want to gain too much weight or not gain enough?
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, look, we want to have you back on because I think there's so much here we can talk about, so many women we can help. If you want to check out some advice from Dr. Kate, you can go to her website. It is namisnd.com, correct?